This 2007 Prius, this came into Luscious Garage, and he found me on Prius Chat, and so I recommended him to go to Luscious Garage, and that's where he's at. And he told me he tried to charge it, and he was looking for the problem, and he has pure refrigerant. There's no additives in there. UV dye is okay to have in there, but pure R134, so he did that right. Not picking up anything from the vents. Doesn't mean there isn't a leak. You've seen many of my videos where one time I don't have a leak, I can't pick it up with no refrigerant identifier, and then the next time they come in, it's a gusher, you know. So without hooking up any gauges, the compressor's working really hard. I can hear it buzzing away. So it is definitely stressing out, and it's trying to cool. Now that's a 12-ounce can. If you put 12 ounces in there, there should be quite a bit in here. One cap was missing. And looking at his dye in there using this spectrum, every one of my lights have different spectrums of UV light. So with the dye in there, this particular light doesn't do anything. That's worthless on this dye. The Conroy, let's see the Conroy. The Conroy does fluorescent. Let me see if I could zoom in on it. Let me see if I could get it clear. Now you can see that there's almost nothing flowing in there. It's literally pouring down at the very bottom, flowing at the bottom. It's not swirling around. So the Conroy does a better job. So here's the UV Beast. This is stronger in the 400 range spectrum. And that one fluoresces a little bit. Not real strong. Here's the UV Beast 365. That's greener. That has a greener effect for him. So with whatever dye he used, this UV light works good on this dye. There's other dyes where all the lights work pretty good. Then there's some dyes where only this one works pretty good, and these are mediocre. So it depends what light you have, depends on what manufacturer's dye UV spectrum wavelength they use. But a lot of these lights, they leak over light at different wavelengths through the whole spectrum, but they might be weak in one and really strong in another. So they put filters. You see that black filter on there? They put filters to make them stronger, and this has no filter. So they use different lights and different filters to narrow in the wavelength for a particular manufacturer's dye. And as you know, this is not all my lights. I just grabbed a handful of ones that go through spectrums. So we have a compressor that's winding out down here, and you can't hear it really over the engine. I couldn't pick up refrigerant inside. We know we're super low. We know the customer put in at least the can. I didn't get how long ago he put the can, so if theoretically if you put in a 12-ounce can and it's only been a couple weeks, there's a leak somewhere, but I can't find it. And so I'm going to go through the motions and get my gauges, recover the refrigerant, put it on vacuum, charge it up to factory specification by weight only, not by can and little hose. And we'll see what we find then. If we don't find anything, then send them back out, let them drive a week or 2 or 3 or however long it lasts, and see if the leak is not out here. We always know what happens on these older Priuses. Unfortunately, the leak doesn't always happen at the evaporator. It doesn't always let out its refrigerant leak, and then one day it just decides to open up and release. And you've seen me catch that on video with the using my leak detector. Okay, so I'll go through the motions, and we have this other one over here that I just finished doing the recovery on. So this is supposed to have 2.5 pounds of refrigerant, which is over 1,000 grams, 1,400 grams, and we only have 675 grams. It was making a lot of condensate under the dash, really good, with only 675 grams instead of 1,000 grams, 1,100 grams, 1,000 grams. So we're definitely low on refrigerant. And But I did clear out the condensate drain, and there is water coming down out of there now. So we'll get back on this one. Engine's been running for the past 10 minutes. I have the recovery shut off, and so I've been looking to see if any refrigerant boils out of the oil, telling me there's still more refrigerant, and it's still holding under the micron range, way above and beyond anything the EPA requires. And I'll jump onto this one, put this one on the vacuum pump too, so we'll have two on the vacuum pump. All right guys, I'll see you later.